Oh, that was one of ours? Oh, okay. For a second, I was nervous that... Hey everybody, welcome to the MaffmanJones movie channel. I'm your host John Maffio, and today's featured film is the latest from Christopher Nolan. It takes place in World War II. How can you go wrong? The movie's called Dunkirk. It's based on real events that happened during World War II, as I just mentioned, and it stars the likes of actors like Harry Styles, esteemed actor Harry Styles. Also Cillian Murphy, Mark Rylance, Fionn Whitehead, and the Tom Hardy, who acts with his eyes, mostly. And this is basically about the story of Allied soldiers who were basically secluded and trapped in Dunkirk, and they were surrounded by German forces, being picked off by enemy planes and enemy forces from all sides. And this movie basically takes us on their journey to survival from point A to point B. You're trying to get from point A to point B, wherever point B may be, which is home for them, safety, before they get killed. And this movie is just goddamn intense! Typical World War II movie, you would think? No. This is Christopher Nolan, so he does his own thing, and I don't want to spoil the plot structure, or just the structure in general of the film, because it's a surprise in and of itself, but the way the film is proceeding with its plot and our characters that we meet along the way is different from a typical World War II movie or war movie in general. I didn't necessarily need to know the characters in the situation, because the way we're thrown into this war, it feels like chaos from the get-go. And I mean, it's still chaotic, it's still intense, it's still this feeling of the unknown. You don't know what's really happening, and you're just experiencing what's happening while the characters are experiencing it firsthand. We are vicariously going through their journey. I think it's a really unique and awesome idea to just throw us into this shit, because whether we are following civilian characters just trying to get the soldiers help and aid, or actual soldiers who are just trying to get the hell out of this Dunkirk situation, because we as viewers don't really know what's going to happen next from moment to moment, because this movie is so in the moment, you retain this feeling of building anxiety. It just doesn't let up the entire movie until we finally get to the very end, which I think arguably is the worst part of the movie, and I'll get to that. But for most of the 1 hour and 47-minute runtime, you are on edge. You sit there as an audience member just wondering what can happen next. And then the moment you hear a gun go off, or a plane soaring near, it's like the most terrifying thing you've heard in your life in that moment, in the context of the movie. The sound design and the sound mixing for this film is impeccable. Whenever a plane would come swooping down on soldiers and get ready to just pick them out like fish in a barrel, I would bug out, because the plane sounds would get so loud and it feels so real in the moment. You swear you have PTSD as you're watching this. You're like, am I about to die in this movie theater? Because, oh my god, oh! Did I forget to breathe? Oh my god, I forgot to breathe. Also, warning, viewer discretion is advised. For anybody who goes into this movie feeling hungry, you're definitely going to be famished by the end, and you'll definitely have a craving for something involving toast, jelly, or peanut butter and jelly. In regards to Christopher Nolan's direction and the way the film is composed with the camera, I just really loved everything about this. It's filmed on film, which I prefer over digital, and I think it really helps the movie and enhances the experience of that old-timey feel of watching a war film and really putting yourself in that time period. The cinematography is gorgeous. Every shot feels crafted like a painting. And when the moments get intense, you really feel the intensity because of the way the camera throws itself in a situation. All the acting is great too, but I'm not saying anything crazy here. When you get into a movie like this, you expect good acting, amongst other things. Mark Rylance was a standout. Harry Styles actually does a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to dialogue, and he handles it pretty well. Fionn Whitehead, who is the main protagonist, main soldier of the movie, I guess, doesn't have much to say, but you are totally engrossed by his journey. And you really bought into him, and I really liked him as the protagonist. He does a lot with emotion when it comes to facial reactions. I mentioned before that the ending might be the worst part of the movie, and now getting to that, I do think the actual ending is a little anticlimactic, and It didn't help that I couldn't understand half the dialogue that was being spoken by characters in the movie. The actual ending of the movie didn't hit me emotionally, didn't pack the punch the way I think the movie wanted to when it comes to my personal feelings. And also, part of me is afraid that the experience, this movie has to be seen in theaters. If you can see it in 70mm and IMAX, or just one or the other, go see it in one of those, or just go see it in the theater in general if you don't have those near you, because you have to see this movie in theaters. You really feel everything when you're in the theater, and I'm afraid this could be like a kind of like a Gravity situation with Alfonso Cuarón, who directed an incredible film, but the experience does feel lesser when you watch it at home. Technically speaking, a theater experience and a home experience won't change how the film is, but I think there is something that you will miss if you don't see it in theaters. Overall though, Dunkirk was one of the most intense war movies I've ever seen. I was a big fan of it from a directing perspective, from a filmmaking perspective, from a cinematography perspective. The acting was really good. It just feels like a ticking time clock, and you feel the building anxiety, and I haven't really felt that with a war movie in a while. Hacksaw Ridge was bloody and gruesome and incredible, and I love that movie, but this film does a lot, and it's effective, and it has implications without giving the gore, and the PG-13 rating you think might serve it lesser, but it actually does a lot because of the way Nolan directs the movie, and I was a big fan of a lot of this movie. The only problems I have are the theater experience that might detract from the movie if you watch it at home later on, and the actual ending not hitting it the way I thought it would. But Dunkirk is a great movie. Don't get it twisted, and I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Another Malfadociously darn good movie. So close to being Malfadocious. So close. One of the best I've seen all year. Definitely want to hear your opinion on it too. And that's where I get to you guys. If you've seen Dunkirk, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it and what format did you see it in. Did you see it in 70mm? Did you see it in IMAX? Did you see it on a regular theater? Or you plan to watch it on your iPhone? Which is probably the worst idea. Let me know anything Dunkirk in the comments down below. If you enjoyed my review, please like, subscribe if you haven't already so you won't miss a video from me ever again. Check out my social medias down below. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and I'll see you guys next time.